the Plow Zone Radio Show, broadcasting around the world from our Northern California studio.
Hey guys, Scott Reese here with the Plow Zone Video Show on RokuTV on OTEL Music Videos. And we got our friend Austin Moe here. Austin, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me, dude.
All right, we're at the NAMM show, and what are you doing here today?
I am living, loving, and just saying hi to good friends, good people, and of course hanging out with the best Roku TV channel
Right.
on the market.
That is right. So you have any new music coming out right now?
We're in the process of writing some new songs. I've got some things in the works that are pretty on the down low, but you know, if things are happening the way that it's looking like, this summer is going to be dynamite, dude.
Really? Gonna do it maybe a big tour or something?
I can't say, but it'd be fun.
All right, so Austin is a blues guitar player, a great rock guitar player. We had him in the studio a few years ago, and you did a Peter Frampton thing. We talked the other day, and that thing got so many freaking hits. I think I'm gonna have to like repost it.
Oh yeah. No, Peter's been a giant influence on me as an artist, and I'll make a long story long, as I call it. So, in my youth, even though I don't look old. So I'm talking about like first grade to sixth grade. The tradition in my family was for my dad to take us to elementary school in his Pro Street Camaro. And for those of you who are unaware of that term, it means it goes fast. And so he had a really incredible sound system in it, and Frampton Comes Alive was the only CD that he ever put in it. And I don't know why. I mean, I can guess now.
Guess why.
But every time Do You Feel Like We Do would come on, the minute that it would get to the talk box solo, I would always be dropped off at school. But then he would pick me up, and it would be at the same spot. And every time I would ask, what is that effect? And he's not a musician.
So
he's like, oh, it's a wah pedal. And then later on, as I started developing curiosities, I started to Google. They said, no, it's this thing called a talk box.
Right.
And for me, I had always been intrigued by that sound. It's like a mystical effect.
You're like, where did that come from?
It's not a common thing.
No.
Like, it is a little bit for like funk, like Daft Punk kind of used it a little bit. But as far as the general audience and music of today, it's not really used.
True.
Unless you have like Slash comes out and just plays it.
Right.
You know, so for me as an artist, that whole mystery and kind of like, it's not really vagueness, but it is in a sense of, I need to figure out what this is. This is drawing me to wanting
the
to
guitar.
learn what the instrument is, how it's done, how can I do it, and eventually I opened up for Eric Gales. This is skipping a lot of the parts in the story. And the CEO of Dunlop was like, me to you from the stage, and he endorsed me right on the spot. He's like, what two pedals do you want? And I was like, let me think. I want a talk box, and I want this pedal. And he's like, cool, right on, here you go. And I was like, oh, this is actually happening.
Nice.
And it took me 10 minutes to figure it out, and within the next time I saw you guys, I'd only had it for a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had it for a long time because you played the hell out of that thing.
Yeah, no, I had been, it was so much in my soul, the notes and the way that it was supposed to sound. That
You already knew it.
It was a matter of time.
All right, so the story with Austin is you started playing guitar at 12.
Yep.
All right, and by 15 you won the London
Blues Kids of
Guitar.
America.
I mean, how do you go 3 years playing a guitar and then you win how does that happen?
I didn't go and hang out with anybody.
For 3 years you were in your room.
For 3 years, I skipped 2 times a week during school in my first period because I would be going to blues jams till 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Or I would just sleep in class I'd just tell my teachers, hey man, I was at the bar all night. And, you know, and they were like, what? And I was like, call my dad, he took me. So it was a lot of invaluable experience of learning from guys like the Isley Brothers and people who have toured with Ike Turner, and people just, I'd walk up to people and be like, oh yeah, well, you know this record? I'm like, yeah, I've heard it before. They're like, you know that the biggest song on there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's me on guitar. And I'm like, and you're in Folsom, California. They're like, yeah, I just like to come here every once in a while. So what do you do? I'm like, I don't know how to play this thing. They're like, oh, try this.
Really?
And then they'd sit there and like on stage just teach me, you know, how to play. So I learned guitar in a very unconventional way, which was Marty Schwartz, shout out to him. He was at home, but 90% of it was I was in the fire, I was in the trenches just trying to survive. And the way that I describe it is, you know how, have you ever seen a movie where like the main protagonist is drowning and it doesn't look like they're gonna make it?
Right.
Try that, and then people hand you babies as flotation devices. That's how I attributed learning how to play guitar with real touring professionals. But they could see my passion and my fire and my love for the craft, that they just like, dude, come back every week. And the more and more that I came back, the better I was getting. Baby steps by baby steps, and then it clicked. And then I was able to figure it out. And now we're here hanging out with the Scott.
The Scott, one of the Scotts. We lost the other Scott. I don't know where he's out wandering away.
Exactly.
All right,
yeah.
so when you're writing a song, you start with a lyric, a riff. How do you do it?
It's not like one thing or another. Sometimes I'll have a riff, sometimes I'll have the song. Like, there's a song on my last EP called Golden Girl, and I woke up at 3 in the morning because I had to use the restroom, and then I just heard a little bit of context for this time of my life. I wasn't interested or looking in a romantic relationship at all. So the lyrical message that I was hearing was all about love, and like, this woman is like the one for me, and I'm sitting here as a guy, like,
as a single guy.
I don't think like this. I don't want this. Disgusting. Like, that was how I was feeling at 3 in the morning. I'm like, this is just crud.
And where's this coming from?
Right. And so I lay down and I can't fall asleep. And I look at the clock and it says 4 in the morning. I was laying for an hour with this one song on repeat in my head. So I was like, ugh. So I got my acoustic out and I played very softly, and I got out my phone recorder and I recorded it all. And the minute that it was done, I was asleep. I blacked out.
You had to get it out of you.
I blacked out for like 8 more hours. I was just like, it was so energy intensive. But
it had to come. I mean, that's where, ideas come from the universe, and it came to you, and you either had to get it out.
I was fighting it, dude, the whole way. I was like, I'm not going to write this song. However, when I was in the studio in Boston with Guilty Dog Studios and Joe Merrick out of Hanover, it was one of my favorite songs that we did.
Really?
Because of the direction that it went, and his amazing ear and his imagination with music. It was such a fun time. Out of everything that we recorded that trip, that was my favorite song that we did. Yeah.
Nice. So you got new music coming out.
Yeah. I don't know when yet, but
you do.
We're gonna be going into the studio this year. And some of the songs, if they make it to the cutting floor.
Now, you still with Frank Hanna Productions?
I still work with Frank on occasion. Okay. Frank and I are still really good friends. You know, we hang out every once in a while, go to each other's shows. But as far as producing, I am now based out of. I have the deal with Boston.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And who is it? What's the name of the company?
So the company is JoeMerrick.com,
okay.
MERRICK, under Guilty Dog Studios.
Guilty Dog Studios.
Yeah, and this sound, the way that I can describe it is when I heard Perry Mason by Ozzy Osbourne for the first time. That giant, wide open arena in your studio house, like in your car, on your phone. It's just boom, blow your soul back.
Yeah, it does.
That's what I was looking for. And the minute that I heard Joe Merrick cover, hold on. It's a Pink Floyd song, Young Lust. The minute that I heard him cover Young Lust, that was it. It was over. I sat there. It's a 3-minute version, and I watched it for 60 minutes straight.
Really?
I stopped playing guitar because I was practicing, and I was like, it's over. This is the guy. I have to call him. Excellent. And my management called him, and the rest is history. Within the month, we were in Boston recording.
Wow. Very cool. All right. So, Austin Moe, the Plow Zone video show audience, how to get a hold of you, my friend?
You can go to Austin Moe, that's AUSTIN, M as in Michael, O.com, or you can go on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube and just type in Austin Moe _official, and it'll pop me right up.
Excellent. All right, guys. We want to thank Austin Moe for being on the Plow Zone Video Show on Roku TV. Looking forward to seeing a lot of good music from you lately, my friend.
All right. Thank you guys so much for having me. Have a great rest of your NAM.
Brother.